fans have been ready for hours for their opportunity to watch two of the hottest football teams in the Big 12 face off in Manhattan as the rivalry for state bragging rights continues this afternoon. It's part two of the Dillon Sunflower Showdown. It's number 13 Kansas facing Kansas State, Big 12 Battle Royale. Welcome courtside, Wade Gerstner and Liz Wagner-Bush with you, two-time All-American. KU, K-State, this place is electric. You wouldn't want to be anywhere else. And the first time these two met, it was entertaining.
You know, it's been a back and forth battle here recently between these two teams. And K-State, big win on the road, and KU's looking to return the favor here. And we'll see what happens. Big implications on this game here today.
Two of the hottest teams in the Big 12. KU's won 9 of the last 10. K-State's won 5 of the last 6. As key players to watch, we start with the libero position.
Yeah, for KU, it's Ryan White. She's a transfer senior from Oregon State. She's averaging just under 4 digs per set. She's 4th in the Big 12, 411 digs, 1 service ace for KU, looking to have a big impact for KU today. And then on the other side, Simone Sims. She's been the unsung hero for K-State, averaging 4.12 digs. She's 3rd in the Big 12, has 19 aces, and she has been flying all over the floor. A big K-State has had the success they had this year. Yeah, Sims with a career high 26 digs in the first meeting between the Jayhawks and the Wildcats on October 24th in Lawrence. Of course, it's key to get off to a good start. K-State won the first set against Bailey the other night. Sophie Smith has more on the Wildcats, wanting to get off to a good start today.
That getting that momentum in the first set early was so huge for that team, and they need to build on that momentum here. And he said that that's always been a focus this whole season, winning that first and win the whole match in general. And he said the message to his team hasn't changed. They don't need to be perfect, they just need to compete, be ready for anything. And that mindset really carries over today as they set the tone.
Sophie, thank you. Buckle up, enjoy the ride. This place is a rocket. It's Kansas and Kansas State. For the 136th time, these two rivals meet on the volleyball court. KU to serve, Ryan White, the libero. We're underway from Morgan Family Arena in Manhattan. A packed house as the kill attempt by Clinton is blocked back for a point. And that size and length for Kansas, certainly a concern for Coach Mansfield State. Yeah, Zelenovich on the right side for KU, 6'7", big block. K-State was able work around that at KU. We'll see how they make adjustments here early in this match. And the quick kill with the left hand from LeGrand, who's been playing so well as of late. Yeah, I really like her offensive threat. She's really made the defense stay home, stay neutral, and throwing one down early in the game is always a good sign for K-State. LeGrand, 33 assists, 15 digs in that 5-set win at Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence. As Van Lanen in to serve cross court, they set it up. Covered by the Wildcats. Left-hand side, Clinton with the push, scrambling, and Jayhawks hit it over. On the attack, the Wildcats. Sets up Myers, and she delivers right down the middle. We've seen that pipe or there for K-State be so effective this year. Can't discount those outside hitters for K-State in the back row. Myers, the offensive Big 12 player of the week. 3rd time she's earned that honor this year. Van Lanen. Had a career high 5 aces against Cincinnati. Wildcats, Clinton, and hits it long. Well, what a difference tonight Clinton makes after missing that match against BYU, and they say there was a touch, so it's K-State point. This is only the 11th match where the Wildcats have had everybody at their full disposal. We do have a challenge. So the Jayhawks claiming there was no touch. We'll see the early chess match between these two teams, these two coaches. Every point so important. KU, a volleyball team to an extent. There's the replay and the spike by Clinton. It touched up front by Zelenovich. JZ for short, her teammates call her. Freshman from Serbia at 6'7".
After review, the call's reversed. Kansas will retain their challenge.
So the call is reversed. 2 challengers per set. If you lose the challenge, then you lose the challenge. If you win the challenge, you keep the challenge.
We'll
Yeah,
see.
I'm sorry.
Zelinovic here with her top spin. She's got a heavy heater.
34 aces on the year. She throws the ball very high. Controlled by the Wildcats, set up Clinton, and she's able to score off the block. And so important to get Zelinovic off that service rotation.
Yes, I mean, she brings a lot of power. She's been very effective with her serve, but now she does have to come in and then play defense in the back row. So K-State trying to take advantage of that. Fast tempo outside set to Clinton, and she gets the kill.
Molly McCarthy in for the Jayhawks on the back row. LeGrand to serve. Lining up Grace Nelson. Cats bump it over. The back set to attack. Off the block of Clinton, and Schmidt missed 7 matches due to injury. Clinton missed a couple of matches. They're happy to have that tandem back.
Yes, it's been an important, and really offensively, she's come alive for the Wildcats. Here as we see Patak with the nice swing. She is an important key for this team.
And then the push shot delivered with the left from Fox.
You've got the setter, Ryan Swanson, up in the front row. K-State really trying to take advantage of that a little bit smaller block without Zelinovic on that right side blocking.
Anaya Clinton to serve. 15 kills and win over Baylor on Wednesday. Down the line. Block at the net. Wildcats unable to control. And a side out for the Jayhawks.
So these setters be pretty offensive for their teams, respectively. An important part of the offense is really trying to keep that block honest.
In the first match, KU hit barely over 100. K-State's defense was terrific. As serve clips the tape, diving up there by Myers, and Fox again with the kill for Kansas State.
Fox has really done a nice job lately for K-State, not trying to do too much, keeping it pretty simple. There she does a nice job, a little bit inside, but uses the outside hand. KU.
Here's the libero Sims, who's been a fantastic server this year. Back set, and that is Iono, who starts as a middle blocker tonight for the Jayhawks. Cross court, missing wide on the attack for K-State. What a year Shaylee Myers is having, and the numbers out that she certainly will be a first team Big 12 honors without question in what is the toughest conference in America. Clinton bumps into LeGrand, sets up Myers with the tip and a point for Kansas State. Heady play, high IQ.
Yeah, smart play there with Zelinovic blocking and back into the front row. Gonna see her probably mix her shots a bit.
Here is Kaylee Pond, the freshman, to serve. Here's Swanson from McPherson, Kansas. This rivalry might mean a little bit more for her, senior. Deep spike into the back row, bumped up by Nelson. Here's Swanson again, diving, keeping alive is Clinton. Sets up Myers, and she's stuffed by Zelinovic along with Iono.
Zelinovic puts up a really nice block on the right side. Doesn't really have to jump too high, just hit those arms up and press over.
KU is 9th in the nation in blocks, leads the Big 12 in that category, as Jordan Williams off the block scores for Kansas State.
We've really seen the middles for K-State come alive here in their recent match. It's such an important thing for them to be more balanced in their offense, get more hitters involved. Definitely you can see that's paid off, a point of emphasis for K-State.
7-6 K-State in the first set. Little over there by Iono. Wildcats on the attack. Clinton drills it, but wide.
It'll be super important for the K-State outside hitters to not try to avoid the block. That's where those errors are coming, but use the block. Hit some high hands, try to get some touches. They'll find a lot of kills that way, or mix up their shots.
Here is White, the libero, the transfer from Oregon State. Named a captain after just a few months on campus, as a joust in the middle of the net, and KU wins that battle.
Yeah, Patak was up and ready for that setter dump. A little bit of a tight set pass for K-State, and LeGrand not any options besides trying to over.
Ryan White, her grandfather, attended the University of Kansas. Played at Oregon State for 3 years. Good dig by White. Zelinovich, partial block up front. Zelinovich, another opportunity, and hammers it home for KU.
Yeah, great dig on the first round there for Pond, but you don't want to set Zelinovich up for a freebie. A lot of wide open court there.
They call her JZ for short. Freshman from Serbia, 21 years old. Here's the back set. Williams almost snuck it in. KU winding up to the right. Nelson. K-State gets it over. Setting it up. And Patak delivers. Nice set by Dalton.
Yeah, Patak, an outstanding freshman for KU last year, has that whole year of experience under her belt, and you can see they want to get her involved in the offense. They just weren't able to do that at KU. K-State served pretty tough. Coach Ulmer talked about they weren't able to really get a lot of offensive hitters involved. So a good sign there for KU.
Yeah, Coach Ulmer saying this week that was KU's worst offensive performance of the year. Myers with the hammer. Man, when she gets in her wheelhouse and with her athletic ability, it is fun to watch.
Yeah, she's almost been pretty unstoppable in that big attack.
Here's Van Lanen, who at Cincinnati, she had 4 straight aces, and there's an ace. Van Lanen with her 25th ace of the season.
She's really come alive here in the latter part of the season with her serve and has scored a lot of points in this round for KC.
Serve, middle. Quick set and stuffing it through the block there is Patak. You mentioned Patak was all Big 12 freshman a year ago for the Jayhawks, and really the only one on this team that has a lot of experience from a year ago.
It's a whole different team, different vibe.
So now Zelinovich with her fastball, and it is a fastball, a top spin, and there is the ace. How difficult is to handle a serve like that?
Well, it has a lot of speed, but also that top spin makes that ball drop. And so as these passers are pretty deep, probably normal than where they normally would be, but then that ball's dropping, and if they find the seams, it's just so hard because you don't have a lot of time to move and get your arms in position.
Her 35th ace of the year, but then a service there, her 36, but pretty good ratio there, basically one, which you like to have.
Yes.
So K-State down 2 in the first set. Well, K-State's won 5 of their last 6 and 3 in a row. Last 2 wins over ranked teams. And of course the win over Baylor, first home win since 2016 over the Bears in 4 sets. Here's Nelson through the block of Schmidt. Side out KU. The Jayhawks have won 9 of the last 10. The only blemish was that loss to K-State.
Yeah, Nelson's done a nice job. She is hitting high in between the arms of the K-State block, and that's going to be a kill almost every time.
From River Forest, Illinois, serves. Sophomore. Back set for Clinton. Dug back row McCarthy. Quick set by Dalton. Bit of a change up, but it's effective. It drops for the Jayhawks. Okay, you won the first set in the first meeting pretty comfortably, and then K-State came roaring back to take set 2. Jump serve by Nelson. Set to Fox, dug out by the libero White. From the back row, Nelson, dug by LeGrand. Sims bumps it to Fox, and Fox is stuffed at the net. Swanson there along with Patak. KU with the early advantage in the rematch of the Sunflower Showdown. Hawks 15, K-State 10. This is volleyball on ESPN+.
For Bud, the harmonica is a family affair. Now Bud's living with prostate cancer. He still knows how to groove, and he also knows once daily Xtandi. Xtandi treats metastatic prostate cancer that responds to a medical or surgical treatment to lower testosterone. Xtandi is proven to help these men live longer. Xtandi may cause serious side effects: seizure, a brain condition called PRESS, allergic reactions, heart disease that can lead to death, falls and bone fractures, swallowing problems, or choking that can lead to death. Stop Xtandi and get medical help at once if your face, tongue, lip, or throat start swelling. Tell your doctor at once if you faint, have a seizure, quickly worsening headache, decreased alertness, confusion, vision problems, chest pain or discomfort, or shortness of breath. Xtandi can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during and 3 months after Xtandi. Common side effects include muscle and joint pain, feeling unusually tired, hot flashes, constipation, less appetite, diarrhea, high blood pressure, bleeding, falls, fractures, and headache. What a riff, bud. Ask your doctor about Xtandi.
Well, Kansas State and KU meeting for the 102nd time in school history. K-State leads the all-time series 68-62. I'm curious about the tie. Last meeting was in Lawrence on October 21st. K-State was down 2-1, came back to win it in an exciting 5 sets. But KU has, for the most part, taken care of K-State last few years.
Yes, they've been a lot better than they have in years past, and they have definitely made this a more competitive Sunflower Showdown in the last few years. Yeah,
KU's won 8 in a row until K-State knocked them off, as Reagan Fox continues to play well up front.
Yeah, she's not had high numbers for K-State, but she does a nice job in critical moments of getting some pretty effective kills.
That's a 3rd kill for Fox in this first set. KU leads 15-11. Patak blocked, but out of play by Schmidt and Myers. KU won in Manhattan last year in 4 sets. 3 of the last 5 meetings between the Jayhawks and Wildcats have gone the distance. But KU's won the last 4 meetings here in Manhattan. The last home win for K-State got to go back to October 23rd of 2019 when K-State beat KU, and that was in 5 sets. Schmidt with the spike. McCarthy there for the back row. Nelson winds up, and this sails way long. Schmidt goes out. Williams in the middle for Kansas State. Matt Ulmer, head coach at KU in his first year, was at Oregon for 8 years. Jason Mansfield in his 3rd year with Kansas State. Swanson from McPherson, the senior, delivers with the kill. And Coach Mansfield, we were talking about the rivalry this week, and he said, well, I tell you, I'm learning as I go, but at the same time, I was just happy that I finally got off the schneid and won one against KU.
Yes, yes. A big win for K-State and Coach Mansfield here as he starts his tenure here at K-State.
And Fox continues her terrific play. Tools the block. Wildcats down now 4.
And that set's been a little inside for Fox, but she's doing a nice job feet to the ball and using the outside hand of the KU block.
Haley Pond serves. Here's Zelinovich hitting air long. So when we say Zelinovich, freshman, she's from Serbia. Aurora Papas, who started in the middle of the first KU, she's from Croatia. She's a freshman. They have a lot of experience internationally. Papat's 20 years old. Zelinovich is 21. They're not their typical freshmen. As trying the pancake save, Sims couldn't get there. Side out Kansas. But what does that experience do when you're in these really tough situations in international play and bringing that over to America?
I mean, it's huge, and you can just tell by watching Zelinovich. She doesn't get real rattled. She's pretty cool, calm, and collected. And she can bring a lot of power with her swinging and her blocking and her serving. So she brings a lot of experience to this young KU team.
Zelinovich off the block of Williams and Myers. KU puts the advantage of 5 at 19-14 and a timeout by Kansas State. Well, we were talking about the offensive struggles for Kansas in the first meeting, but they've been able to put some things together so far in this first set.
Yeah, they've done a nice job of passing well, getting a lot of hitters involved, and it's really paying dividends for this team.
And let's go to Sophie.
Hey, thanks, Wade. When asked about this crowd environment and what it means to this Kansas State team, Jason Mansfield said that it's been special ever since 2023 when they played those first matches against Omaha and Nebraska. And in the last couple of matches, Mansfield said that the crowd has really affected the teams that have came into Morgan and played here and have really inspired this Wildcat team to play better, which is huge today.
And so if you couldn't ask for a better atmosphere, I mean, they lined up. The cars were here in the parking lot. There was a long line of fans trying to get in. I had to go all the way around them and see if I could get in. The door's locked. They didn't want anybody to sneak in too early, but just tells you how much fans care about volleyball here in Manhattan. Yeah, there were some KU fans in line too, but it's predominantly purple, of course.
Yes, it's, you know, home court advantage for sure for the Wildcats, and, you know, who wouldn't want to come and watch a highly competitive match here in Manhattan, Kansas. And this arena has been such a nice, gives you that really close, the crowd is very close to the court. It gets really loud in here, and it's a great environment for some volleyball.
The first meeting between KU and K-State was not played in Horish, where they normally play the Jayhawks. They play at Allen Fieldhouse. Coach Ulmer said, you know, it was a great atmosphere, but it was different, and it didn't really make the other team as uncomfortable as it normally would, because we didn't have the students on like you do here at Morgan Family Arena. But it was a great atmosphere. First time they played a match at Allen Fieldhouse in volleyball since 2013 at 7,500 fans.
Yes, it's, well, I got to play in Allen my freshman year. We played in Allen before they built their new facility. So cool to experience.
Yeah.
You know, but definitely I think the fans being closer to the court in a volleyball arena is so important.
Zelinovic dug out by Sims. Got a high 26 digs the first meeting. Casey had 93 digs in that 5-setter. Williams curls over the tape. Dalton bumps it to Nelson. Was it touched?
Yes.
It was touched. Point Kansas.
Yeah, and maybe even a net call there too by K-State on that block. So nice high swing there. Out of system for Nelson. She's doing a really nice job. She's hitting almost at the 10-foot line on some of these attacks, which is very hard to do when that block is set up. You can see she's hitting for high hands.
Myers with the roll shot. Jayhawks on the attack. Zielinski tips it over. Now LeGrand. Knocks. Nelson blocked there by LeGrand. Back over to Nelson. Hits the tape. K-State on offense. Williams covered by White. Back set to Zelinovic, and she's able to blast it home for the point for the Jayhawks. 21-15 KU. Another timeout called by Jason Mansfield in Kansas State. KU hitting 375 in the early going after hitting barely over 100 for the match, and Zelinovic has been able to find some rhythm.
Yeah, and you know, I think in the last matchup, they tried to go to Zelinovic maybe a little too much, tried to rely on her, and seeing a much better distribution, and some of that might be they're passing a little bit better. Defensively, they're getting digs in an area that they can get more hitters involved. So, you know, definitely you can see that there's been an emphasis for that for KU, you know, in preparing for this match.
And there is a change from the last time they played, and Coach Ulmer was mentioning this earlier this week, is they have Aisha Iono in the middle instead of Potts. Iono offensive threat, and they've really played well, the Jayhawks, since that loss to Kansas State, and Iono's played very well the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and we talked about how important it was for K-State to get their middle involved. Same thing for KU. If you get kind of outside heavy, you know, defenses really can kind of lock in on tendencies a little bit easier. And so you can see both teams, you know, making that an important part of their offense is getting those middles involved. Yeah,
Jayhawks early on hitting 355. K-State just 129. But K-State's been playing some great volleyball as of late. They've won in a row. 5 of their last 6. The only loss during that stretch was against number 17 BYU, and Noah Nia Clinton for that match knocked off number 20 Colorado. 3 sets. Wednesday, an outstanding match. They took the first set and then rallied to win that third set down 23-20. Beat Baylor at home in Manhattan for the first time in 9 years. A huge win for Coach in his program.
Yeah, you just continuing to, you know, continue to progress the program back into the status of being in the top 25, you know, making the NCAA tournament. Those are all kind of some important goals for this team.
Ryan White, the transfer Oregon State, it's served long after the timeout. How many times do you see that timeout service there?
It's the credit the coach on that.
21-16 KU in the first set. 3 out of 5. Down the middle. Good serve, but then there is Patak. You know, so much talk about Zelinovic, but Patak, as you mentioned, was outstanding last year, and she continues her good play.
Yeah, I think an important part of this KU offense is Patak, just because of her experience last year. for the Jayhawks, and she's a great attacker. Puts up a really nice block, and I think an important part of their team.
Schmidt blocked at the net. Wildcat screaming. Clinton, one-hand punch. Zielinski down the sideline. Pawn was there. Now Schmidt with the kill. She's been battling a foot injury good portion of the year, but she looked comfortable there.
Yeah, again, she's really become more involved offensively. We'll see her going behind the center a little bit more, especially in those early rotations where she's in front with LeGrand. And she's been able to get tempo so fast. It's really been able to beat a lot of blocks.
And here's a point off the block by Nelson. Now, Ava LeGrand, she has been playing so well. She has 12 double-doubles, and she had a career-high 6 blocks against Baylor on Wednesday. Better. Second on team of blocks. Jordan Williams had 7 in that win over the Bears. Clinton bumps it. Now Myers back row, dug by Nelson. Wildcats have another opportunity. They need to put together a spurt, down 6 in the first. Sims. Fox. There's a touch at the net. Here's Swanson. That was outside the antenna. We had a good view of it. The officials all over it. And a point for Kansas State. Well, that first set is always so important. Although in the first meeting, KU won the first set. K-State came back to win. But Coach Mansfield, and as Sophie mentioned earlier, so important for them to play well, get off to a good start, and right now down 5 in the first stanza. Clinton, low liner. They go to Swanson again. Wildcats trying to keep alive but cannot. K-State's defense has been so good this year. And now Iono checks back in as a middle.
And set point for KU.
KU won the first set in Lawrence, 25-14. K-State came right back. Might have a similar situation in the rematch. Patak to serve from Prescott, Wisconsin. LeGrand sets it for Myers on the line. The Picasso beats it on the white, and the Wildcats get a side out.
You see Ryan White was out because the middle Patak was serving, and so she was out that rotation, not on that cross-court shot. Shaylee Myers.
Here's Sims, 19 aces on the year, almost had another. Myers, KU set point. Iono hits long. Wildcats fight off another set point, down 4. Sims, Coach Mansfield saying one of the quickest players he's ever coached. Serve and an ace for Simone Sims.
And her serve has been so effective for the Wildcats lately. They've been scoring a lot of points in this rotation where she's serving.
24-21. Sims to serve again. Iono, Doug, joust at the net. K-State hustling. LeGrand keeps alive. Myers off the block. And the Wildcat fans get a little more pumped up within 2 after being down 24-18. And a timeout, Kansas. Well, on Wednesday, the Wildcats were down 23-20 in the third set. Rattled off 5 straight, won the set, took control of the match. Well, a great effort by LeGrand.
I see where the serve for K-State's really coming into play. KU not able to control the serve from Sims and not giving their offense much opportunity to really put the ball down.
K-State is one of 4 Big 12 teams that have 4 or more victories against top 25 opponents. Kansas also has 4 wins over top 25 opponents. And the Wildcats with 2 straight ranked wins, trying to make it 3 in a row. Their RPI up in the 30s. That should go up with the win against Baylor. And of course, they pull up a win here against KU. It'll go even higher.
Yeah, it would be huge for K-State as they're looking for a berth here in the NCAA tournament this year. The first for Coach Mansfield, and you know they're definitely taking advantage of home court advantage here in Manhattan.
8-3 this season, and of course those big wins against ranked opponents, but this one would be probably the sweetest of them all if you can knock off KU.
Yeah, to sweep them for the season, that would be huge for K-State.
So right now, KU still has a couple of set points to work with, but the Wildcats have served. Simone Sims after the timeout will try to avoid being iced. Right-hand server, Libero wearing the purple jersey, hits it deep, and it is long. In the first set goes to Kansas, 25-22. The Jayhawks, having won 9 of the last 10 matches, up early, 1-0 over Kansas State in front of a packed house here at Morgan Family Arena in Manhattan. This is Big 12 Volleyball on ESPN+.
What will you be wishing for this season? Kansas Lottery's Holiday Millionaire Raffle.
Knock on wood.
Your best odds to win $1 million.
Wildcat fans, Purple Wave Auction is proud to team up with K-State Athletics. We're built on that same purple pride. Hardworking people, real results, and a love for getting things done. Just like the Big 12 reaches coast to coast, our equipment auctions connect buyers and sellers nationwide. From ag fields to job sites, join our community and see what's selling now at purplewave.com. Purple Wave Auction, proud sponsor of K-State Athletics.
Hey, grab me one too.
What we grow here defies expectation. Hungry minds searching for answers. Explorers of the impossible. Breakthroughs without end. People who see the world not as it is, but as it could be. You'd be amazed at what we grow here.
First set stats in the match Sunflower Showdown. KU winning the first set 25-22. What stands out to you, Liz?
Well, you know, I think KU's really they've gotten their offense going. It really shows in the numbers. They're hitting, 300, and K-State's only hitting 175. Now, both teams didn't hit great in the first matchup, but you can see here where KU has really come alive with their offense. You can see that emphasis there, and then the blocks for KU. Big contrast between the two teams, especially where K-State has been blocking so well recently, and they've made a big point to defensively make moves to help them with their offense, essentially.
KU has some of the best blockers in the country. They have 3 in the top 10 in the Big 12. Patak, 114. Papaz, who hasn't played, 106. And then there is Jovana Zelinovic right there with 104 blocks on the season. KU is 9th in the nation in blocks. So that size always causes problems.
Yeah, it definitely does. And as attackers, you're gonna see that, especially in the conference like the Big 12 and big block, and how can you use that? Because it's definitely some weaknesses, and I think offensively your setter, how they're setting, reading that block, putting your hitter in a good position to take advantage of the block versus, hitting into that block.
Zelinovic had 3 kills. Patak had 5. K-State led by Myers with 6 in the first set. Hawks with 4 kills. We start the second set. The serve by Van Lanen. And a block at the net. LeGrand and Schmidt teaming up. Wildcats an opportunity. Schmidt. Well, she put some power on it, but KU able to dig it out. Zelinovic and a hitting error into the net. So a good start on the first point for Kansas State. trying to do what they did in Lawrence, and that is win set 2 after losing the first set. What makes Van Lanen serve so tough?
A lot of pace, and they're nice and flat. And they're coming kind of at the chest of the passer, so they're going to have to move and get the right angle of your arms, and with it coming at that pace, that can cause a lot of trouble.
For the Wildcats, 2-0, K-State in set 2. KU won the first set, 25-22. Van Lanen serve, goes a little long, service error. First set, K-State had 2 aces, 1 service error. KU 2 service errors, 1 ace. So here's Zelinovich to serve, and got 4 in the back row awaiting the laser that's coming off the right paw of Zelinovich, who throws the ball so high and gets that top spin. Clinton off the block. And so important not to let Zelinovich get on a roll serving.
Yeah, and so far K-State's done a nice job. We've seen her get 1 ace, but they've really been able to control that. A good swing there by Clinton, just through the high hands of the block.
So Legrand to serve. Low liner, KU. Can't do much with it. K-State on the attack. Clinton rises up, dug by Sims. Clinton bumps it to Fox and misses long. Timing a little bit off.
As a right-hand attacker on the right side, it's hard. That ball has to come across your body to attack it. If you don't get your feet in a good position, it can cause you some troubles.
Here is Grace Nelson, the sophomore, serving. Fox blocked and in. Patak along with Katie Dalton, who is a tall setter at 6'1", but also this is a good hitter. You know, as you saw there, she can block. Served by Nelson. Sims, Legrand, Myers pushes it over with the right. Swanson off the block, the senior from McPherson with the point.
I think that's Swanson's best attack here so far this afternoon. I like her using the high hands.
Swanson, 348 kills in her career, 277 this year. Another good serve by Nelson to the front row. Legrand, back set for Clinton, and sneaks it through. How important is cohesion in volleyball? And the reason I bring this up is Coach Mansfield talked about how, hey, we haven't had everybody because all year long because of injuries to 3 or 4 different players.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very important. I mean, communication, and there's a lot of moving pieces. And so having, played together, worked together, gone through some adversity together, those things can all pay off. And when you have, pieces that are filling in, it can make it a little bit more challenging.
Johnson, another kill off the block. KU up 5-4 in the second set. So here is Patak. Myers. Legrand back to Shaylee Myers. Stuffed at the net. And there is Dalton along with Iono. And for more on the cohesion and having everybody available, here's Sophie on K-State.
Thanks, Wade. You guys are right. K-State had to rely on its depth a lot this season, and Coach Jason Mansfield said that there's only been 11 matches this year where every single Wildcat that has been starting for them is fully healthy, and he said every season comes with adversity, especially injuries, and that's why it's so important to coach everyone on the roster and develop them individually, because you never know when they're going to be needed.
And speaking of that, Avery Stone stepped up against Cincinnati. First collegiate start at 17 kills. Cadence Lundgren stepped up. Lauren Snyder stepped up, which can make you deeper later in the year if you need somebody.
Yeah, because you just never know what's going to happen. And so to have that experience already through the season is going to be huge for K-State.
The serve by Patak sails long. KU leading 7-5 in set number 2. There is Avery. Had to step in with Clinton being out, and she played well. True freshman. 17 kills in that win over Cincinnati. Back set for Nelson, winds up and blasts it home. Well, that was a clean look.
Yeah, a little bit different attack there, more from the right back versus the center of the court. So, block just wasn't up for K-State and pretty wide open court.
And the other thing is Zelinovich back in, so K-State couldn't make hay with her on the bench. Myers blocked at the net again. This one, Sims, and a little sideways cut goes wide left. And KU up now 9-5. Here is Katie Dalton, 6'1" senior from Parker, Colorado. Set Williams, but it's bumped right back over. Back to Myers, over the block. Underneath Dalton. Now Zielinski slaps it over the right for the point for KU, and a timeout by Jason Mansfield and Kansas State. The Wildcats down a set, and now down 10-5 in the second set in the Sunflower Showdown Part 2. This is Big 12 Volleyball on ESPN.
I don't know at this point in the game.
Wade Gerstner, Liz Wegner-Bush, Sophie Smith with you here on ESPN Plus. Big 12 volleyball standings. As you can see, Arizona State with just one loss, and then Colorado, Kansas right behind. Iowa State, Baylor, TCU, K-State, Arizona all knotted there at 8 and 6. So you see those numbers to the left side? A lot of ranked teams, 7 to be exact in the top 25. Zielinski dug by Sims. LeGrand back set to Fox, dug by Dalton. Swanson, who's had the hot hand, and she delivers yet again for the Jayhawks. But there are opportunities every single week in the Big 12. If your RPI isn't where it is, or you need to move up and get a signature win, you usually have those chances in the Big 12.
Yeah, and you know, a loss to a ranked opponent isn't necessarily a bad loss, you know, especially if you can play competitively against them. But a win for sure is a huge bump in that RPI.
LeGrand digs, bumped by Fox. Here is Myers, dug in the back by Nelson. Up front, Swanson. Clinton in the back row. LeGrand, the Fox. Diving is White to keep it alive for the Jayhawks. Swanson pops it over. Long rally. Had a lot of these the first meeting. Myers through the block. Nelson, Dalton, Zielinski, and she's able to sneak it through the tandem block of Williams and Myers. Point Kansas. They're up now 7.
I think Zelinovic just needs a little bit higher set on that, but she does a nice job. She got there and got enough of it, the ball, to get it over the net.
Talking about the ranked opportunities, KU has 8 losses, 7 to ranked teams.
Yeah.
The only unranked team they lost to was Kansas State.
Yeah.
And of course, K-State's got their share of ranked losses and 4 ranked wins. So the service there, K-State with it. What adjustments can Kansas State make right now? Because KU seems to be very comfortable.
Yeah, I think probably a little bit more pressure with their serves, which I'm sure they've talked about that in their huddle. And then defensively, they've got to put more pressure on KU, because right now KU's lighting it up. I mean, you know, hitting-wise, they're hitting over 250 in this set and have been pretty unstoppable.
Pawn serve, diagonal to the right side. Swanson, and she missed. One of the few misses she's had in early going. We're talking about the rivalry between schools. Of course, KU and K-State. It is a in-state rivalry. As a serve by Pawn, pulled the string on it, hits it into the net, service error. But you and I were talking this week about how the rivalry still, I mean, it means a lot to the fans. People are lined up for hours. But in regards to the players, all the transferring, the NIL, and then there's coaches changes as well, it doesn't resonate with them as much.
Not yet. I mean, I think that they develop that. You know, they stay with the program long enough. They understand, especially, you know, in-state rivalry like this, you know, because there's a lot of talk that goes on.
Yes, yes.
And so I think, you know, that's why you want to see your players stick around and understand the value of battling for your team and wearing that with some pride.
Myers, K-State within 4, and another service error for Kansas State.
Yeah, it's a fine line there. You want to be aggressive with that serve, trying to put pressure again on KU, but you can't make the errors.
K-State with 3 service errors in this set. They had 1 in set 1. Sims hustles and slides into the standard. Clinton, I think that was touched. It was. Point Kansas State.
Yeah, Clinton's been pretty quiet so far in this match. You know, a good sign here, trying to get her involved. You can see the block for KU causing a little bit of trouble, but Clinton, nice job, just off the fingertips.
Served by Van Lanen. Dalton a quick set, and KU all messed up on that play, and a point for Kansas State.
That set was a little bit high for Patak. Nelson not able to cover her the backside.
Van Lanen with 25 aces had 1 in the first set. Low liner. Dalton to Zielinski, and off the tip, it falls for KU.
You see the set probably wasn't something that Zelinovic could hit, but with her height,
yeah.
She's able to reach that set was actually pretty wide of that antenna, but she's able to reach and throw it down. We've seen her do that a few times for, you know, the defense is back trying to be ready to dig, and so when she's able to throw that down, it's tough to defend.
And so's the serve. That's tough to defend. Holy shnikes, what a serve. And ace for Zielinski, second of the match, 36 now on the year, as Myers couldn't handle that missile. And Zelinovic, 6'7" freshman, had 16 kills, 5 blocks in the first meeting. Career high 18 kills against Arizona State. Let's go to Sophie on the sidelines.
Thanks, Wade. When asked about Katie Dalton, Coach Ulmer said earlier this week is when she's playing with a chip on her shoulder, pushing tempo, and even talking a little bit across the net is when she's at her best. He also said that when she's quiet, it's never a good sign. Her energy and her personality that the setter position allows her to show on the court is what makes this KU offense so good and so efficient right now.
Absolutely, Sophie. And Katie Dalton, a career high 55 assists against Iowa State. Against K-State, 17 digs, 36 assists. But not only is she a good setter and she can dig, but she also has the ability to hit.
Yeah, she's got the pin hitter kind of annotation there by her name on the roster, but you can tell she's got some fire, and I've been seeing that from her so far this afternoon, and probably a big reason why this offense for KU has been doing so well.
Matt Ulmer, you see him there, first-year head coach for KU, signed a 6-year contract. He was at 8 years at Oregon. 166.77 was his record. And how about the start for KU this year? Their first 5 weeks, they were on the road. They had 14 matches, either at neutral or road sites. They didn't have a home match until Arizona State on September the 26th. And in fact, they played 8 5-set matches, and they're 2-6, but their first 4 matches of the year went 5 sets against ranked teams. They got 1-3, 7 NCAA tournament appearances at Oregon, 16 a year ago, a few Elite Eights. So a heck of a hire by Kansas City Ulmer to come to Lawrence. Here's Nelson, winds up, dug by Myers, and a violation on Kansas State.
I think they called that on the grand.
So KU in control at the moment, 17-11. They won the first set 25-22. Zelinovic to serve again. Had 7 aces against Texas Tech. That's a career high. Clinton blocked. Deep two-hand set by LeGrand. Go over to Patak. Here's now LeGrand, Clinton. Doug, great effort there by Lauren Bell, checked in, and then K-State with the kill with Clinton.
Good heads-up play there by K-State. Ready for the attack there by Zelinovic. You know, she doesn't play much in the back row, but when she's serving, she can be an offensive threat back there. So good job, K-State, staying home, staying patient, and putting up a good block.
Here's LeGrand, 27 aces so far this season. Here's Nelson, and that never came over. There's no touch, a hitting error on the Jayhawks, and K-State, much like the first set, trying to rally back.
Yeah, using the crowd to their advantage. Try to find a little energy here, continue to put pressure on KU.
LeGrand took something off. It was effective, and Patak blocked at the net. Now Sims, and off of Simone Sims, out of play. And substitution, Swanson checking in for Logan Bell, who is a 5'11 freshman from Beech Grove, Indiana. She was the Gatorade Player of the Year in Indiana. Her team went undefeated in state champs her senior year. Here's Schmidt on the quick set. Now LeGrand to Clinton, off the block of Swanson. Point Kansas State. You know, Coach Mansfield's talked about faster tempo, faster play of offense, and it seems it's been a little bit not maybe at the tempo he liked so far.
Yeah, I think early on they were trying to push that tempo, but just maybe haven't passed as well, haven't been able to get themselves in a position to use that tempo to their advantage.
Clinton pops it over on the serve, a floater. Dalton to Patak, and she delivers yet another kill. 19-14, KU after taking the first set, trying to go up 2-0.
Yeah, Patak has been so good for KU this afternoon. Just haven't been able to shut her down in front or behind the setter.
Back a career high 17 kills against Iowa State and serves it into the net. K-State will be happy to accept that. Third service error of the set. Both teams 3 service errors in set 2. And now here's Sims. Great serve, but good job by McCarthy. Now Swanson, dug by Clinton. LeGrand backpedals to Myers, and KU into the net. Wildcats within 3. Volleyball is an amazing sport to me because of the momentum changes. It's so abrupt and quick.
It is.
Here's Sims. Oh, it just caught the tape and came back over. A service error for the Wildcats. And boy, when you're down, every point's so important.
Yeah, and when you're kind of putting that pressure, and I think he's probably feeling that a little bit there, not to let K-State back in it. You just don't service error at that time.
Here's Dalton. LeGrand. Fox. Doug. Now Swanson. Sims bumps it to Myers. Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week for the 3rd time this year. Nelson fires it in there, but K-State ready. Fox bumps it to Myers. Myers off the block. Point Kansas State. Shaylee Myers coming into today 72 kills away from 1,000 in her career.
Yeah, it's a perfect example there by Myers of using the block, a tall, tall block that she's facing. Inside set, out of system, but just finds the fingertips.
Here's Kaylee Pond to serve. K-State down 3. Zielinski covered by LeGrand. Pond to Myers. Pond bumps it up for Shaylee Myers again. Blocked at the net by Zielinski. To the middle, and Iono able to score for Kansas.
I haven't seen too much from Iona here this afternoon, but every time you'll get a kill, KU will take that. Again, trying to keep that K-State block honest.
Here is freshman Logan Bell in to serve. Sims to LeGrand. Myers blocked. K-State will try again. Down by 4. Myers trying to hit over the block. Goes too far, and K-State now down 5.
Yeah, trying to hit those high hands again. Just find the fingertips. It's a little too high there for Myers.
KU trying to take a commanding 2-0 lead. Bell to serve. LeGrand to Jordan Williams. KU playing good defense. Zielinski. K-State has it on offense. Myers through the block. Oh, White with a one-hand punch to keep it alive for KU. LeGrand to Williams, and she misses wide and long. Well, we were talking about the liberos, the players to watch, and Sims and White are fun to see how they can cover the whole court.
Yeah, they've really done a nice job. They've had some amazing digs on both sides of the net.
23-17, Kansas. Short serve. Go to Myers. And that is in. K-State with the kill from Shaylee Myers. Well, if you need a point, that's a good option to go to.
Yeah, she's kind of had the answer all season for the Wildcats. See, they might try to get her involved a little bit more here, get her going.
K-State hitting just 101 for the match. Zielinski. And Clinton was in the net. And KU has set point, 24-18.
You see KU really trying to push a little tempo for Zelinovich on that right side. And that just caught Clinton a little off guard.
White, the serve. It was 24-18 in the first set, and then K-State rattled off 4 in a row to make it interesting. Clinton off the springs for the kill. 24-19, Van Lannen coming in for Williams, and Emerson will serve, the freshman from Kimberly, Wisconsin. K-State needs a run on her serve right here. Flat serve, as he talked about earlier. Here's Nelson, blocked by Schmidt. Return to Cinder.
And you can see right there where that serve really helped K-State out. That pass was all the way pushed to the left side of the court. Really offensively, only attacker you could get involved was Nelson, and the block set that up perfect.
Van Lannen, another serve down the line. Nelson. Dalton to Nelson. K-State down 4. They need it. Myers. Was there a touch? No, it was long. A hitting error. And Kansas takes set 1, 25-22. They take set 2, 25-20. K-State, an uphill climb ahead. Down 2-0.
Avery, are you ready to play?
Always.
Play Wildcat Riches from the Kansas Lottery for a chance to win up to $360,000 instantly. Download the Kansas Lottery Play On app and get in the game.
Let's play, Wildcats.
Wildcat fans, Purple Wave Auction is proud to team up with K-State Athletics. We're built on that same purple pride. Hardworking people, real results, and a love for getting things done. Just like the Big 12 reaches coast to coast, our equipment auctions connect buyers and sellers nationwide. From ag fields to job sites, join our community and see what's selling now at purplewave.com. Purple Wave Auction, proud sponsor of K-State Athletics.
Bold are the adventurous. Determined are the leaders. Faithful are the healers. At Baylor, you'll find your calling, your people, and your purpose. Dare to be you, indeed.
There has never been a better time to be part of the Big 12 than right now. This is a defining moment for all of us.
Big power hit from the outside. There it is. Stuffed up. It cannot go over. Down the line, big swing. There you go. And an ace.
We truly are a different league.
Welcome back to Morgan Family Arena here in Manhattan. A terrific crowd on hand, a sellout, over 3,000 people watching the Sunflower Showdown, the rematch. And in the rematch so far, Liz, Kansas controlling things, now up 2-0.
Yeah, they've done a really nice job passing better. I think getting their offense pretty well balanced across the board. And then their blocks, you can tell defensively, they've done a much better job against the attackers for K-State. And they've just put so much pressure and K-State just hasn't had the answer. You know, Myers has kind of come alive here late. We'll see if they'll try to ride that a little bit, but really they've got to get better passing so they can get all their attackers involved.
Yeah, Shaylee Myers leads with 9 kills for the match and 6 for Clinton. And then 7 kills for Zelinovich, but pretty good balance with Swanson and Patak with 6.
Yeah, Patak's been so good. And, you know, Zelinovich has been kind of quiet, but she's had her moments where she's made some plays on maybe some sets that weren't quite perfect, but she's done a nice job not making errors. And then that block, like we talked about for KU, has been big, frustrating the attackers for K-State.
Yeah, 11 blocks for Kansas, and that's that size and length that Coach Mansfield has been talking about. And that's something that every team has to deal with when you face the Jayhawks, when you have 6'7" Zelinovich, but then also Patak at 6'3", and then Iono inside has really given them a lift the last couple weeks.
Yeah, she's been good for them, and, you know, available offensively when she needs to be, but also putting up a nice block for the Jayhawks.
So Kansas State down 2-0, and KU has the 3rd most sweeps in the country this year. They have had 11 matches where they've swept in 3 sets. K-State could somehow win the next 2, push KU to a 5th. KU's 2-6 in 5-set matches. K-State's 5-1, but a long way to go before we could get to that point. Around the Big 12, you can see it right there. Cincinnati with a win against Texas Tech in 5. Baylor and Houston tied a set apiece, and Utah knocking out BYU. And then, of course, a couple big ones between 2 ranked teams, Arizona State, Colorado. Top 2 teams in the league right now in the standings, and TCU, Iowa State. Yeah, you know, K-State's going to be going to Iowa State this next week, and so more opportunities again, you know, to go on the road and win some matches, some tough matches. But yeah, that Utah BYU game, I watched that last night, and what a finish by Utah, you know, to take that from BYU. And we've seen BYU have some up and down struggles, but still a high quality team. And you know, like you said earlier, every night, every opportunity you get is you can't take that for granted, and you can't expect to go into a game and win. No, you have to bring it every single night. K-State's upcoming schedule at Houston on Wednesday, November 26th, to host Central Florida, and then there's that ranked opportunity at Iowa State and Ames on the 29th. And KU, meanwhile, they hit the road. This is the first of 4 straight road matches for KU. They'll be at Utah, at number 3 BYU, Utah on Wednesday, BYU Friday, then at Iowa State, and then close it out with a home match against Central Florida. But you can't take a night off in this league, certainly, and there you see Kansas's upcoming schedule. A couple of ranked teams. Kind of rare sometimes to look at those 4 matchups and say there's not 3 or 4 ranked teams in that list. Right. 7 of the top 25 from the Big 12 in the national poll, as Nelson blocked by LeGrand, but out. Well, you have an amazing crowd that's on hand, and this crowd is just waiting for really, really good to happen for the Wildcats. Yeah, they're staying engaged, though. They're trying to rally their team here. K-State hitting under 100 for the match. And this is a touch, a tip. K-State with the point. You can definitely tell the attackers for K-State a little bit different mentality now with their attacking. They're doing a nice job. Again, we talked about it, using the hands, finding some fingertips, because that's a kill. Dalton, Zielinski hit the tape, threw off the timing off LeGrand, and into the stands to our left. And that'll bring Zelinovich back for the top spin serve. 4 different Jayhawks with at least 5 kills, spreading it around, as you mentioned. So here's Zelinovich. The serve down the middle. Fox the tip. Dalton finds the soft spot down the far sideline, and Zelinovich, will serve again. And what about the ball toss for Zelinovich on the serve? As there you see Zelinovich from the back row with the punch to keep it alive on the up. Yeah, the toss for a top spin serve has to kind of throw it up there and go get it. So, you know, she's tall enough, she's got to get it up there pretty high. There you see that ball toss, great camera work, and there's an ace right down the line off of Fox. And for More on Jay-Z, as they call her for KU. Here's Sophie.
Coach Ulmer said earlier this week that he would like to see a little more fire from Jay-Z in this match, and he said that she's a very smooth player. She doesn't get rattled one way or the other. To see her get angry and really take over this game would be huge, and it has been huge, guys.
Well, and you know, for KU, they want to see a little bit of anger as this spike by Clinton off the block, a point for Kansas State. But there was a situation earlier this year where she smoked one off a opposing team player's face and was immediately wanting to make sure she was okay.
Yeah. Well, you appreciate that.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, kind.
Yes.
Get worried about the other teammate, but you also want to see a little bit of that. Yeah, I got that. That's very good.
Good block by Schmidt and Fox. And 2 hits, a lip there on KU. K-State with the point. They're down by 1 in the third set. Just tuning in, KU won the first set 25-22, controlled set 2. Won that one 25-20. So K-State, a big mountain to climb, but just point by point, right?
Yep.
Here is Clinton to serve. Coach Ulmer talking to the official here. And a stuff! Schmidt and Fox with the block for the Wildcats.
And we see that set for Nelson a little inside and also tight. Doesn't give her much room to move that ball around, and K-State does a nice job surrounding the ball.
So here is Anaya Clinton. So happy to have her back after missing a couple of matches. From Midland, Texas, redshirt junior, preseason Big 12 selection. Nelson. Good dig by Sims. Myers lines it up, diving for it with the up bell. Sims. Back over to Myers. And it falls for Kansas State. Wildcats up by 1 in this third set, a must-have set for K-State. Sometimes can you overthink it too much?
Yeah, you know, I think keep it simple is probably really key, because if you try to do much, sometimes that leads to a lot more errors.
Bell from the back row, missing wide. K-State up now 2. Because I'm sure it has to be intimidating at times when you have, 6'7", 6'5", and there's a tandem block in front of you. At some point, you may just get so frustrated, say, I'm going to hit as hard as I possibly can and see if you can handle it.
Yeah. You just don't want to do it low right on the tape.
Right, exactly.
That's where you see those stuff blocks.
You bet. Nice serve by Clinton as that nicked the tape. Nelson. And a point for Kansas. She just did win the joust here on the near side.
Almost thought she might have been in the net, but
only seen one challenge so far in the match.
Yeah.
So here is Grace Nelson. Clinton pass to LeGrand, quick set to Schmidt. And the Wildcats score their 7th point of the set.
It'll be real important here for K-State to continue to just plug away, earn some real points when they can. That means earn those with their serve.
Sims deep back row to McCarthy. Here's Patak, dug by LeGrand, but back over the net. And he's a put away there for Dalton. Kansas has opportunity to host, to be a top 16. That is certainly a goal for them. K-State right now seems comfortably all right for the NCAA tournament. Be their first appearance since 2021, but you don't want to take anything for granted. Wins against Colorado and Baylor last 2 times out certainly have helped K-State's case. Williams blocked in the net by Iona. Roll shot by Myers. Up front for the Jayhawks, Iona, and she puts it away.
You can see there by why Coach Ulmer wants her in the game. Like I said, when she's gotten the ball, she's gotten some kills and doing a nice job not making errors and finding the floor.
Here's Patak, right-handed server. Hits it long. Service error for the Jayhawks. Well, last time that K-State swept KU during the regular season, go back to 2018, 7 years ago. That's what K-State's trying to do here today after winning the first matchup in Lawrence. Great dive by Sims to keep it alive, but eventually it falls. Point for KU.
Yeah, good read there by Sims. So close. Just to have a little bit of backup there.
Talking about the blocking of KU, they're the best in the Big 12. And then you have K-State leading in the Big 12 in digs. We talk about Sims has been so good this year and our players to watch with the liberos. And there right on cue is the libero White with a great up. Tied at 8 in the third set. Swanson able to hit the laser cross court for the kill.
Yeah, it's a great set there by Dalton. She had the opportunity to throw some tempo. And then you see the big hole in the block. It's a high contact point there for Swanson. She gets up there.
Here is Dalton. Cross court. And the kill for the Wildcats. Jordan Williams, it's so good to see her healthy. She's dealt with injuries basically her whole career. And she had 7 blocks in that win over Baylor on Wednesday.
Yeah, she's been so good for the Wildcats. Offensively, she's been more active recently, but just pretty quiet here this afternoon.
Nelson to the front. Zelinovich blocked at the net. Swanson tips it right side. Back set and off the block Swanson. Williams gets credit for the kill.
Back-to-back kills there by Williams.
How important is it to mix it up to where you use your middles?
Well, it's so important. Again, it makes it more difficult on the block. They have to, especially if you have tempo on your sets, then that makes that block really have to stay balanced and make a good read. And then you'll find holes in the block, which we've been seeing that a little bit more for K-State.
Clinton punishes the volleyball off the Jayhawks into the K-State faithful on the far side. Timeout on the floor. Kansas State trying to push this to a 4th set. They lead in set number 3, 11-9 in the Sunflower Showdown.
Coming to the stage this Friday, it's Ned's first team karaoke night. But he's wondering,
what if my flaky red plaque psoriasis takes center stage?
Next up, we have Ned. Hey, 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 hey. Is she flaky blacky?
What if Ned knew he could treat differently?
Otezla is a pill that treats plaque psoriasis even in hard-to-treat areas. You can get clearer skin and reduce itching and flaking. Doctors have been prescribing Otezla for over 10 years. Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Get medical help right away if you have trouble breathing or swallowing, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, throat, or arms. Severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting, depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss can happen. Tell your doctor if any of these occur and if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts.
With Otezla, clear skin could be your jam. Live in the moment. Struggling on topicals? Ask your doctor about Otezla.
Well, they were lined up well before the doors were unlocked here earlier today in Manhattan. And there's even, I mean, you've got the whole gamut of ages from babies taking their nap but hopefully woke up in time to watch the match, to the alums, to the student section. Over 3,000 people packed in here at Morgan Family Arena. Beautiful place to watch volleyball for the Sunflower Showdown Part 2.
Yeah, you love to see it here, and just the growth of the game here in the state of Kansas. I love it. You know, it's just across the nation, of course, but here also in Kansas, with the success of these 2 universities, it's been great. And you know, seeing some tough matches in the Big 12 in your home environment, it's been really fun to watch.
Williams is on fire. She gets another kill.
Yeah, 3 in a row.
The redshirt senior from Montana, Texas, of course, was at Kentucky before coming to Kansas State. We talked about the injuries she had to deal with, and you really like to see anyone in any type of uniform be able to overcome that adversity and get the opportunity to come back from injury as Myers comes flying out of nowhere to put it away.
Guys, a fast tempo set there for Myers out of the back row. We haven't seen it really since the first set, but this time, good decision there by LeGrand.
Myers a serve. KU won the first 2 sets. Dalton, Swanson, who has played very well tonight, comes up with another kill, the senior from McPherson, Kansas, and now the freshman Bell checks in for Swanson. Coach Ulmer has to be pleased with the way Swanson's played so far today. So here is Bell, lets it fly short. Sims dives forward, over to Clinton, stuffed at the net. Return to Cinder. Zelinovic. I've always wanted to be tall, but she's really tall.
She is tall, puts up a nice block, and Iono doing a nice job closing and not leaving any seams.
Bell fires away on the serve to the back row. LeGrand, great job to handle to Williams. Jordan Williams with her 4th kill of the set, 14-11 Kansas State, but how about the quick hands by LeGrand?
Yeah, LeGrand, that's all credit to her. She's able, that tight pass, able to handle it and dish it up for Williams.
Here is Van Landen, ready to serve for K-State. Cross court, does a good job placing it. Iono, dig in the back there by Van Landen, but a point for KU as Iono continues to play well from Liberty, Missouri, a 6'3" junior. She's had a career-high 8 blocks against Vanderbilt early in the year. That was their first match of the season. Coach Ulmer's pleased with the way she's played. Here's Ryan White, the libero for Kansas, 14-12, and Schmidt airmails this one.
It's always a fine line. I've noticed that with Schmidt, that set is very fast. Almost seems a little bit like she can't quite get on top of it. So just to drop her elbow a little bit, and that sends them a little long. I've seen that a few times.
Sims to the front for Clinton, and she tools the block of Zelinovic along with Patak.
Clinton has also come alive. Williams and Clinton, I think in this 3rd set, have really made an impact with their offense for the Wildcats.
Myers with 11 kills, Clinton with 10 to lead the Wildcats. Dalton quick set, and the kill for Patak. And for Patak, that is her 8th kill. Swanson has 9, Zelinovic with 8, now Patak with 8, Grace Nelson has 6.
Yeah, it's some pretty good distribution there for KU.
Lots of weapons. 15-14 Wildcats in the 3rd set. KU took the first 2. Served by Zelinovic is long. And you kind of just take a deep breath and go, thank you, I think, when you're trying to handle that serve.
Yeah.
She was a highly coveted player from Serbia. She played a lot of international volleyball. And also Aurora Papac, who we haven't seen, she's 20. She's a freshman, came over from Croatia. And she's one of the league leaders in blocks, but we haven't seen her yet today as Nelson hits the antenna out of play. And the Wildcats up 3.
You kind of see, very similar to the last time these two teams met, you know. KU played pretty clean the first couple sets and then kind of started to see more errors creep in. We'll see here what adjustments Coach Ulmer makes.
Dalton, Patak, Sims, ready for it. LeGrand to the back row, Clinton, dug by Bell. Go to Nelson. Roll shot into the back row, Clinton. Here's Myers with the tip. It's effective. K-State pushes the advantage to 4. Trying to force a 4th set, put some pressure on the Jayhawks. Timeout on the floor as the K-State fans have packed Morgan Family Arena on their feet. There have been a few matches where we've seen Myers get off maybe a little bit of a slow start, but eventually she usually finds that part of the match where she can take over.
Yeah, I mean, it really happened in the Baylor match as well. She was kind of a little quiet in the first set, but then just really came alive for the Wildcats. And that's, you know, one of the advantages of having all these offensive weapons is you can't sleep on any of them because at any moment, you know, they can come alive and really cause some trouble for teams.
You have a shot of Myers. You're going to love this. You already know this, but Myers, 3rd in scoring history with her 10th 20-kill match of the year the other night against Baylor at 21, matching K-State Hall of Famer and All-American Liz Wagner-Bush, who registered 10 of those 20-kill matches in 1999 and 2000. We are a two-time All-American, and you have to be pretty proud of seeing a K-Stater do that.
Yeah, I love it. You know, last year we watched, you know, Aaliyah Carter was getting close to my career kills record, and, you know, fun to watch that. And then, you know, Myers, especially with the work she's put in. She's been in the program a long time, and you can see the difference that made, all that hard work paying off for her. So very, very happy for her and the success of the Wildcats, obviously.
Well, Jay Lee, first in the Big 12 at 4.73 kills per set. That's good for 11th in the entire country. And she has been fantastic this year. Three-time Big 12 Player of the Week, the current Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week, 6-foot senior from Lincoln, Nebraska. 18-14 Wildcats after the timeout. Fox stuffed at the net. Schmidt flicks it over with the left. Line it up, Nelson, and she is able to terminate from the left-hand side.
And you see Nelson really winds up on her swing. She's putting her whole body into that, and there was a little bit of a seam. So important to try to get that closed for K-State.
Now Nelson serves cross court to Myers, back to Shaylee Myers, pushes it over. McCarthy was there. Here's Swanson, and a sharp angle cross court near the 10-foot line. Point Jayhawks.
Yeah, it might have been close to going out, but I think a touch there by Sims. Yeah.
That was very close.
Yeah.
No challenge. Here's a serve by Nelson. 18-16, and this one wide, a service error. Third of the set for the Jayhawks. Eighth of the match. Haven't seen too many aces. Both these teams are outstanding on defense. 19-16 Wildcats in the fourth set, or the third set. Here's Patak, blocked, but out. And they say it was out. K-State discussing.
I don't think it hit Patak on the rebound off the block before it went out. I mean, it would have barely touched her hair, maybe.
Coach Mansfield getting an explanation.
And the up breath there was right there, so had a good view of it.
So KU within two. Trying to sweep the Wildcats on their home floor. Attack down the line. LeGrand Myers through the block and off the deflection of Patak and into the stands. Pond comes in, normal rotation to serve. And you remember, you got Zelinovich, who is not on the floor right now. This is when you want to make hay if you're K-State.
Yeah, she's on deck, so.
From the back row, Nelson, dug by Clinton. Williams, oh, what a dig. Pond there. Myers, can't finish it. Dalton, Swanson, inside the antenna. LeGrand, back set to Williams. Jordan Williams coming up big in this third set.
Yeah, smart play there by LeGrand to go against the grain there, kind of against the direction she was kind of running.
Short floater served by Pond. Now Nelson from the back row. Oh, what a dig by Pond, the freshman. To Myers! And she smashes it into the corner for the point. That starts with the freshman Pond, though.
Yeah, great dig. Again, K-State does a really nice job of taking advantage of those opportunities with turning their defense into offense. KU with several subs here.
Yeah, Ellie Schneider, 6'5" junior, she's only played 9 sets this year. She's up front. No Zelinovich. Served by Pond. K-State trying to force it to a fourth set. LeGrand and Williams blocked, and then it was off of Williams, even though she was out of play. Wide of the court. Side out Kansas. And now here comes Zelinovich.
And so KU made subs to do almost a 6-2 put a bigger blocker in for Dalton and an attacker, so the setter would be in the back row. So just kind of, again, trying to find the answer here for KU.
Go to Myers. Good defense by the Jayhawks. Iono off the back row of Clinton. Nicely done by the junior from Liberty, Missouri for KU. And a timeout by Coach Mansfield and Kansas State. Wildcats leading 22-19. We're talking about the opportunities in this conference. There's 7 teams that are ranked. Arizona State is 8th, KU 13th, TCU ranked 16th, Baylor 21, Colorado 22, BYU 23, Iowa State 20. We were talking with Coach Ulmer this week in his first year with KU. He said, it is a rivalry, but for me, my perspective is it's an important match against a very good and a very hot K-State volleyball team.
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't quite have that rivalry piece yet, you know, being new here to the Midwest and to Kansas. And, you know, I think understanding more, especially after K-State coming into their home and taking the win earlier this season, I think definitely understanding kind of why this game is so important.
And I asked Coach Mansfield about the rivalry. I said, in the 3rd year, does it mean a little bit more? And he said, well, yeah, because I finally got off the schneid and we were able to beat KU for the first time since I've been here back in October. But he also said, you don't want to put too much weight on just one match because of how tough and how deep this conference is.
Yes, yeah. Every match is important. And like I said, you can't sleep on a team. You know, even if they're in the bottom standings, it's so important.
And there is Myers, we mentioned a moment ago, 4.73 kills per set, 11th in the country, 1st in the Big 12, and coming in today, 72 kills away from 1,000 in her career. She has 14 kills today to lead Kansas State. And there she is again, blocked at the net by Iono. To Zelinovic, and she's able to put it off the block, side out for KU. Myers this year has, as we said, 10 matches where she has 20 or more kills. 21 of the 22 matches this year, she's had double digits in kills. Consistent. And violation on Kansas State.
Yeah, the passer, the pawn can't be in front of the outside hitter who's front row. If she's standing in front of the outside hitter who's front row, then that's a violation. She has to stay behind that front row passer.
KU happily accepts that point. 22-21. Myers blocked. LeGrand to Williams, who's had the hot hand, blocked at the net. Myers winds up. KU on the attack. Zelinovic, LeGrand the quick hands. Sims bumps it for Myers. Off the block and it falls. Huge point for Kansas State. Trying to stay alive and force a 4th set.
Yeah, with 2 attackers in the front row, with the setter being in the front row, you know, not as many options, and so it's not as hard for those blockers, but Myers, nice job banging some high hands there for the kill.
Shaylee Myers is served down the middle. Nelson. This one off the front block as Selena Laban, freshman from Slovenia, hasn't played a lot lately, but she's able to get the kill.
That's smart play there. Down the line, off the hands of K-State.
23-22 Wildcats. Bell serves. Opportunity, Williams. Stuff at the net. Is it in? Yes, it is. And we're tied at 23. Timeout. Wildcats in this 3rd set. K-State trying to stay alive, and Nelson blocks it right on the line.
Right on the line.
They've been going to Williams on the near side. It's been very effective, but this time Nelson read it. And paints the line for the point. And so now anybody's set, and K-State, of course, has to have it.
Yeah, and you see those substitutions Coach Ulmer made earlier. You know, you see the importance of trying to not let this set slip away, and they've been able to climb back in there, get Zelinovic back in the front row.
Yes.
It's been huge for KU.
When we talk about the size and the length of Kansas, that causes problems for everybody that they face. And certainly the biggest player on this team is the freshman Serbia, Jovana Zelinovic.
Yeah, we're seeing it not only with her attacking, but also with her blocking and then her serving. We've seen her come in and make a few plays defensively in the back row. So she's definitely having a huge impact on this game. And you know, again, I can't speak as to how hard it is. She's getting some sets out of system for a right-handed player on that side. That ball has to, again, come across your body. It's hard, but she's so good at it. And with her being as tall as she is, she's a high contact point, so it makes it very tough for defense behind that.
Zelinovic, she leads the team in kills, leads the team in aces, third on the team in blocks, over 100 blocks. 3 Jayhawks with over 100 this year. 23-23 tie, very big point here. LeGrand, Williams, KU, chance to go on the attack. They go to Zelinovic on cue. Sims digs it, and it just lands wide on the far side. And the Jayhawks now, after trailing most of this third set, they have their first match point of the afternoon.
You see Ryan White does a smart thing. That ball to Zelinovic in transition.
Logan Bell, freshman serve. Pond, LeGrand, Clinton, blocked at the net. Sims goes back to Clinton, blocked again at the net. LeGrand back to Myers, blocked again by the Jayhawks. Keep stonewalling K-State. Now this one, Clinton is able to keep K-State alive. Well, try again.
Hey, you know, always as an outside hitter, you got to be able to recycle it. You know, you hit it into the block high enough, you can get a cover, and you just got to keep banging because eventually that block's going to try to reach, and you might find some seams. So perfect example there for Clinton.
K-State led 22-18 in this set. KU had a match point. K-State terminated that point. Now Zelinovic dug by Myers. Over to Clinton, and she misses wide, and another match point for the 13th ranked Jayhawks.
And you see Patak back in for KU. So you look at that front line for KU, see what LeGrand can do with only 2 attackers in the front row.
KU with 15 blocks in the match. White and Pine goes over to Clinton. Miscommunication. They both go over to try to dig the serve. An ace for the Jayhawks, and they win in straight sets. 25-22, 25-20, and 26-24. KU gets the sweep, their 12th of the year, and avenge a loss to Kansas State on their home floor, or their second home floor, Allen Fieldhouse, back in October. As K-State won that match in 5. This one does not go the distance. KU wins in 3. Let's go to the floor, and Sophie has head coach Ulmer.
Coach, you get the win, but this time you do it in 3. How is your team able to stay together and really trust each other in this environment?
Yeah, I mean, that's really what we were talking about in the huddle, is just trusting. I thought our offense was really good early, and then it looked like we got a little fractured. They started picking up their defense, which is what happened last time, and it looked like it bothered us. This time I thought we just took a deep breath, and Katie reset, and we just got back to our tempo and started trusting each other. And just in the nick of time, we didn't have many more points to waste. And the double sub, I thought Selena came in and made really impactful points right there for us, and that was really crucial turning point.
How did JV have that spark, have that fire that you wanted to see from her in this game?
Giovanna?
Yes.
She's pretty good.
Yeah, she's very good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought our out-of-system setting, I thought Ryan White put the ball in a really good spot for her in the last couple. Again, I thought Katie made good decisions, but I mean, Jay-Z's feeling good. She's pretty tough to stop. And again, you know, Aisha's pulling more of the block, which is big, so they're not all just camped out on her, so I think that's another piece that's helping her.
Great win. Congrats, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sophie. It's a big win for Kansas because they felt they let one get away the last time they played K-State on their home floor. They were looking forward to it.
Yep.
So we'll be back with the match highlight, or the match stats, and wrap everything up here as KU and Kansas State Part 2 goes to the Jayhawks.
Introducing the Kansas Lottery Rivalry Riches starting lineup.
Dawn, I wanted to see.
We're all players with the Rivalry Riches scratch ticket.
Because they were obviously motivated after the
Yeah.
first
Oh, yeah. Definitely motivated.
It's your shot to win up to $50,000 instantly. Plus, you can enter your ticket into the Kansas Lottery Play On app for a chance to win great game day experiences.
Need a second opinion? Look no further than Kate's Heating and Cooling. I was told that my 15-year-old furnace had a cracked heat exchanger by a local HVAC company. I wasn't convinced and wanted a second opinion, so I called Kate's, and I'm so glad I did. Their team conducted a thorough and professional free inspection with a combustion analyzer, and in 15 minutes, Kate saved me $14,000.
10-year manufacturer's warranty? Not here. With Kate's, you're covered for life. Kate's, where service makes the difference.
Morgan Family Arena packed to the rafters tonight. A special environment, no doubt. Here comes another block. Cross court stuck it in. As if this place needed any more energy, it is electric in this building. And then the block on Warhol. What a rally! And it's Fox with a hammer. Wildly entertaining and unpredictable Big 12 has a champion to crown, and AT&T Stadium is where we're going to decide it. Into the corner, touchdown.
Hey, welcome back to Morgan Family Arena here in Manhattan. Part 2 of the Sunflower Showdown goes to the Jayhawks in 3 sets, 25-22, 25-20, 26-24. And Liz, the first set, KU controlled most of that. Second set, they certainly in control. Third set, K-State seemed to be in control of that set, up 22-18, but the Jayhawks rally to win the third set and get the sweep. What stood out to you in this rematch between these rivals?
Well, you know, look at the hitting percentage for KU, 250 this match. I think they barely hit over 100 in the previous meeting. You can see that point of emphasis. Coach Ulmer had talked about it when we spoke with him earlier this week, and you can see that definitely paid off. They got their offense going, they passed better, and then their defense came alive. I thought they were able to turn their defense into offense, especially when it mattered at the end of the match there in that tight third set. They were able to get some key digs, and then get some kills to put the hammer down and win the match.
And KU now improves on the season to 20-8, their 20th win, 11-3 in the Big 12. K-State falls to 15-8, 8-7 in the Big 12. And you talked about spreading the love around for KU. Ryan Swanson and Ivana Zelinovich each with 10 kills. Reese Patak had 9 kills. Grace Nelson with 7. K-State was led with Myers. Shaylee Myers, another nice night with 15. Anaya Clinton, 11 kills. LeGrand with 34 assists for K-State. Dalton with 35 assists. But KU block was very effective today.
Very, very effective.
But Jordan Williams had a hot hand there in the third set for the Wildcats, but it wasn't enough. And K-State falls in 3 to KU. The Jayhawks even the series 1-1 on the season. Huge thanks to Sophie Smith for her efforts on the sideline, to Will Rizza for his work as our producer and director. For Liz Wegner-Bush, I'm Wade Gershner, reminding you that all games airing on the ESPN Network are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. Good afternoon from Manhattan. This has been a presentation of ESPN Plus.